Now to that desperate search in Nigeria, where those 200 young girls taken from their school have now been held by the Boko Haram terror group for more than a month. A new military offensive is underway right now with help from the U.S., and ABC's Hamish McDonald has the latest.
The search for the kidnapped Nigerian girls is stepping up. The 7th Division of Nigeria's army is leading the way, with surveillance support from the US overhead. They're scouring the Sambisa forest and the Gwoza area, where they believe smaller groups of girls are held, some possibly in caves. But Nigeria's military is facing criticism about its effectiveness.
We're now looking at a military force that's quite frankly becoming afraid to even engage.
International partners, including the US and UK, have been reluctant so far to share all intelligence, fearing leaks inside Nigeria's military may be tipping off Boko Haram. The military is defending its deployment and its resourcing.
Nobody ever has enough. I think we're trying our best and we're improving regularly.
The Nigerian president promised to visit Chibok, where the girls were taken, but changed plans at the last minute, citing security fears. In the volatile northeast, we met families of the missing. These fathers feel nervous, abandoned and frustrated.
There is no policemen, no soldiers, no any civil servant towards.
Are you angry?
Yes.
At this weekend's summit in Paris, Boko Haram was labelled West Africa's Al-Qaeda, as leaders promised to wage total war on the group. For all this rhetoric about war on Boko Haram, there are still serious doubts about the capacity of Nigeria's military. The State Department view seems to be that even if the girls can be located, Nigerian soldiers might lack the skills to carry out a successful rescue mission. George?
Okay, Hamish, thanks. Let's get more analysis now from ABC's Chief Global Affairs correspondent, Martha Raddatz, and retired Navy SEAL Robert Harward, now an ABC News contributor. And Mr. Harward, let me begin with you. You just heard those doubts that Hamish expressed that the United States has about the capability of the Nigerian military. What kind of resources do we have in place there, and what can we do?
Well, George, as the State Department acknowledged yesterday, we have the full range of assets to assist the government of Nigeria. Not only advisors, but also those air and satellite assets that can search over a broad area of northern Nigeria to isolate those individuals. So we're going to track to listen and hear and see what they're doing over these wide areas to then isolate them and thereby allow the government of Nigeria to take that information and pursue courses of actions to solve this problem.
But Martha, underscore here, this will not be an American operation.
It will not. You've heard the president say there will be no U.S. boots on the ground. And what he means by that is combat troops. The U.S. is not going to carry out a rescue by itself of any kind. Nigeria is a sovereign nation. They don't want to ask the U.S. to actually go in and rescue. But there are other things that can be done to look for those girls and help.
So, Mr. Harward, if these girls are identified, what comes next?
Next, then, is isolating the location not only of them, but the bad guys, and then providing assistance to move those troops or resources into place to solve the problem.
And Martha, before we go, I do want to ask you one question about this Veterans Affairs controversy, which has cropped up over the week. We saw General Shinseki, Secretary Shinseki, up before Congress this week, taking some heat. Also, at the end of the week, announced the firing of his Undersecretary of Health, Robert Petzel, but that seems to have backfired.
It certainly did. There was a press release on Friday saying that he has accepted his resignation. And then we later learned he was set to retire anyway. They didn't put that in the press release. They didn't put that out. Of course, we all found out that he was set to retire anyway. So this is not exactly a sweeping statement by the VA. This is long from being over, George.
Martha Raddatz, Robert Harward, thanks very much.